In 2012, the government introduced the Welfare Reform Act. This act will bring in major changes to a lot of different welfare benefits. Some of the changes have already been brought in, but some are still due to happen, and it's best to start thinking now about how you will be affected. For example, if you have someone who lives in your home who's turning 18 in the next 12 months, you need to talk to them now and let them know that they might have to help towards your rent costs. The Welfare Reform Act means that some people will have less income, and you'll need to start thinking about how you will budget your money and what needs to be paid for out of your benefits.
The government's intention around welfare reform is obviously about simplifying the benefit system and to try and make sure that the benefit system is fair to both people on benefits and to taxpayers.
The bedroom tax isn't really a tax at all. The government has issued new rules which say who's allowed their own bedroom in a rented home. If you have more bedrooms than the government says you need, then you will have to pay more towards your rent, which is why it has come to be known as the bedroom tax. If you are deemed to have more bedrooms than the government says you need, then the amount of benefits or help that you get towards your rent will reduce, meaning you will have to pay the difference. From April 2013, if you have one bedroom too many, your housing benefit will be reduced by 14%, and if you have two bedrooms too many, they'll be reduced by 25%. For example, if your rent is now £100 per week, but you have one bedroom more than you need, you will only receive a maximum of £86 in help towards your rent. This means that you will have to make up the difference of £14 yourself out of any other benefits or any income you have. If your rent is £100 a week and you have two bedrooms too many, then you will only receive a maximum of £75 a week towards your rent, and you will have to make up the shortfall of £25 per week yourself.
The bedroom tax basically is legislation that the government's brought in about the size of property that people occupy. So if you have too many bedrooms, the council will not give you full housing benefit.
When the bedroom tax comes in, we're going to have to pay an extra £80 a month on top, roughly, for the extra two rooms.
I'm living in a two-bedroom flat. My daughter, Mia, who's 11, she stays at weekends, but because of this bedroom tax, I'm required to move to a smaller property, i.e. one-bedroom flat.
A lot of people are stressed over it, including me.
We'll be maximising the benefits as much as we can by doing a full benefits check for them and advising them on how they can maximise their income. And we're also looking at trying to get people back to work. So there's lots of programmes that are out there to help people help you to get back to work.
People have been not really thinking it's going to affect them. Suddenly, in the last couple of months, they've realised, hang on, this does affect me.
Because there's been a lot of scaremongering going on, and they're all, have we got to leave? Well, they haven't if they've got the money. They haven't got to leave anyway. It's just they will have to pay for the room.
The best solution is go and speak to your landlords. Just basically don't stick your head in the sand.
I would advise anyone who's claiming housing benefits, whatever the amount, to contact their landlord and ask about the options open to them and whether or not they're going to be affected by this tax.
The bedroom tax only applies to tenants of working age, which is currently up to pension age. Anyone over the pension age will not be affected. So who is allowed a bedroom? The new government rules say that one bedroom will be allowed for each adult or couple living in a household. A child or foster child under the age of 16 will need to share with another child under 16 years of the same gender. A child or foster child under the age of 10 will need to share with another child aged under 10 years, regardless of gender. Disabled children who require their own bedroom because of the nature of their disability. A son or daughter who is in the armed forces and is away from home. A non-residential carer who provides regular overnight care to the tenant or tenant's partner if they receive mid or high rate disability living allowance or PIP. Exceptions will not be made for separated parents who share the care of their children, parents whose children visit but do not live with them and are not counted as part of the household, couples who use their spare bedroom when recovering from an illness or operation, disabled people including people living in adapted or specially designed properties. Universal Credit is a new benefit that will replace many other benefits such as income support, housing benefit, job seekers allowance, tax credits and income-based employment support allowance. It will come into effect for any new claimants in the North West from autumn 2014. Anyone who is already claiming any of these other benefits will be moved on to Universal Credit by October 2017. Unlike some previous benefits, Universal Credit will be paid monthly, direct to the claimant. You will need to have a bank account in order to receive Universal Credit. If you do not have a bank account, please contact your landlord or a local credit union who can give you more help and advice about opening an account. In the past, any benefit you were entitled to towards your housing costs and rent was paid directly to your landlord as housing benefit. But with Universal Credit, you will receive this money, making you responsible for paying this to your landlord. The best way to do this is to set up a direct debit to automatically pay your landlord each month, making sure that you don't fall into arrears.
Universal Credit has been devised by central government to replace the current welfare system as part of the welfare reforms, therefore simplifying a multiple of benefits into one single payment.
The payments will go directly to the tenants and basically they would be responsible for paying all their debts.
So it's very important that all tenants have their own bank account to pay their bills, otherwise they will fall into arrears.
It is giving the customer the money in their pocket, whereas traditionally housing benefit would have been paid straight to the landlord, and 99.7% of our customers have said they don't want that to happen.
When it comes in full effect and you've got to pay the rent, no problem paying the rent, but once that's got on there, then whatever's left in it, you've got to budget that for the month.
The government's view on that is what working people do, is they have a budget and they manage monthly.
You've got vulnerable tenants out there that can't get out to pay the rent. You've got people with alcoholic problems, you've got drug addicts. What happens when they do pay the rent?
We've drawn up reports of those that we think may be affected, and we're currently interviewing those tenants to see if there's additional support we can give, like budgeting advice or setting up a bank account.
We do have specialist advisors that can come out and see tenants and actually advise them on how to budget, how to get rid of bills that they needn't pay, how to reduce their gas and electricity bills, and also how to apply for the benefits that they may well be entitled to.
A non-dependent is an adult who shares your home with you but is not dependent on you for support. For example, an adult son or daughter. From April 2013, the amount of housing benefit that you will receive will go down if you have a non-dependent living with you. They are expected to pay towards your rent and housing costs, which is why your housing benefit will be reduced. The amount that they have to pay will depend on their own individual circumstances and how much income they have.
It's often where our tenants will come unstuck in terms of getting the son or daughter to help with the rent payment. So, our key message to tenants would be, if you've got a child living with you that's about to turn 18 over the next 12 months, you need to have a conversation with them now.
There are some exceptions though. If you or your partner are getting the care component of disability living allowance or are registered blind, if the non-dependent is on pension credit, if the non-dependent is under the age of 18 or a full-time student, if the non-dependent is under 25 years and getting income-based job seekers allowance, income support, income-related employment and support allowance, and is in the assessment phase of a new claim. The Department for Work and Pensions will reassess everyone who is currently on incapacity benefit, and people will be transferred to either employment support allowance or job seekers allowance. If you receive incapacity benefit, you'll be moved into one of three groups: ESA support group, ESA work-related activity group, or fit to work.
All people in receipt of incapacity benefit will be contacted by DWP, but it's really important that you respond to those letters and get help as soon as they come through.
The ESA support group includes people who are considered seriously ill or disabled. They will receive a higher level of benefit and will not have to take part in any work-related activity to receive the benefit. The ESA work-related activity group is for anyone who's seen to have limited capability for work. If you are in this group, you will have to take part in the work-related activity in order to receive the benefit. Finally, people who are found to be fit to work will have to claim job seekers allowance. You can appeal the Department for Work and Pensions decision, but you must still make a claim for JSA while you appeal. This will ensure your housing benefit continues to be paid and you do not end up in rent arrears.
Whilst an appeal's pending, it's important that you either make a claim for job seekers allowance or you send in sick notes to the DWP. What this will do is ensure that you will get ESA at assessment rate, so this allows your housing benefit to continue to be paid and therefore preventing further arrears.
The government's changes will cap the total amount of welfare benefit that an adult can receive to £350 per week, or £1,516 per month. For a couple or family, it's £500 per week or £2,166 per month for working age claimants. It could affect larger families, for example, those with 4 or more children.
From April 2013, the government are introducing a cap on the welfare benefit that an adult can receive.
They're saying that no household, if they're not working, should be getting an income into the property of anything more than what the average working wage would be.
The Department for Work and Pensions is in the process of writing to everyone who is likely to be affected by the cap. From April 2013, Disability Living Allowance for adults aged 16 to 64 will gradually be replaced by Personal Independence Payment, or PIP. You will not automatically be transferred to PIP. You will need to make a new claim when the Department for Work and Pensions write to you and tell you to do so. Some people may be able to get their claims processed more quickly, for example, those who are terminally ill or have severe health conditions or disabilities. This process will start in April 2013, and everyone who is currently claiming Disability Living Allowance will be contacted about being reassessed by March 2016. However, the government plans to spend 20% less a year on PIP than it currently spends on Disability Living Allowance, which may mean that fewer people will be entitled to receive PIP.
The budget for personal independence payment has been cut by 20%, and so the inference from that is that there is less money available and fewer people will qualify. Estimates around 15% of our tenants will be affected by it in terms of currently on it and no longer qualify. The key thing is that people don't qualify is to make an appeal.
Some people currently receiving Disability Living Allowance may be told by the Department for Work and Pensions that they will not be entitled to PIP, meaning their payments will stop. There is a lot of information to take in about the benefit changes being brought about by the Welfare Reform Act. To quickly recap, these changes will affect people of working age. Bedroom tax. If you have a spare bedroom under the new government rules, your housing benefit won't cover all your rent and you'll have to pay the difference. Universal credit will replace a number of benefits, including housing benefit. Direct payment. Housing benefit will no longer be paid to your landlord, but to you, and you will need to make arrangements to pay your rent. Non-dependent deductions are increasing, which means that your housing benefit, or universal credit once introduced, will be reduced. Incapacity benefit is changing, and if you are affected by these changes, it is important that you reply to any letters, otherwise your benefits might be reduced. Disability Living Allowance. If you are aged 16 to 64 and receiving DLA, this will be replaced by Personal Independence Payment. But remember, you won't be transferred to this new benefit automatically. You must make a new claim when you are asked to. Benefit cap. The total amount of benefit anyone can receive will be capped, and if you get a letter from the DWP about this, it is important that you read the letter carefully. Landlords understand that there may be difficult times ahead for many people, but if you aren't sure if or how you'll be affected, please contact your landlord, who will do the best they can to help.